when I think about how entrepreneurs should work with investors, that basically is broken down between before investment and after investment, right? It's two separate stages. However, there are some common things that entrepreneurs should always keep in mind. And the first thing to keep in mind is across the entire process and the entire life cycle is that the honesty, transparency, and openness are probably your best tool as an entrepreneur to keep a good relationship with your investor. At the end of the day, the investor does not sit in the company every day. And the things that are really trivial and really apparent for you, as an entrepreneur, are not that clear to the investor that meets you every few weeks or every month or every few months. And so when you do not update your investor, when you're not open, when you're not transparent, it's very easy to lose the trust. It's very easy to get to the point where the investor feels that something's been hidden, that it's not been fully shared. And this is really bad. And that's bad from the beginning, from when you want to start creating the relationship, all the way up till to the exit of the company. And you've got to understand that the relationship with the investor is a long-term relationship. The average entrepreneur is going to either fail within an average of 24 months, 18 to 24 months, or succeed, which is going to take an average of 4 to 5 years. And so this is a long-term journey. And if you're going to be with somebody engaged for 4 to 5 years, there's more than most relationship in the world, right? If you're going to beat that, if you're going to be successful at doing that, you really have to think how you're building a trust-based relationship, which is based not just on liking each other, because over time you may not necessarily become great friends, but you need to maintain that relationship. So that's the first thing, is transparency and openness. I think that when you come as an entrepreneur to an investor, you need to think what are the things that the investor would really want to see. And what the investor wants to see, the investor wants to see your character. So you need to bring out your character and who you are. The next thing that the investor wants to see is that you're serious. And being serious meaning treating yourself seriously, treating the investor seriously, treating the investor's time seriously, coming prepared, answering questions properly. One of the things I do is that when somebody sends me a presentation over email, before I meet them, there's like a very tenacious process of back and forth questions that I would send. It could come to like 40 emails going back and forth, because what I want to see is not necessarily the answers they give me, but I want to see the seriousness in which they're taking this. So I ask them a question. I want to see that they come back with a reasonable answer. I want to see how long it takes. So if I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, somebody wrote me an email. I told them, I would love to see the market map of this thing. And they told me, okay, sure, it's going to take us 2 weeks. And I got back to them and said, why is it going to take 2 weeks? And are you busy with something else? Is there something that I'm missing? And they said, well, we're doing lots of things. And then you think to yourself, if it's going to take them 2 weeks to create a market map, that clearly they should have had before, but if it's going to take them now 2 weeks to update it or create it, then what's going to happen when a customer is going to tell them, I need something now? And what's going to happen if they're going to launch something and consumers are going to basically tell them by their behavior that that's not what they want? Is it also going to take them 2 weeks to start moving? And so that was a very short discussion, right? And so through these questions and answers, I learned not necessarily about the business itself, although a bit of that as well, but mostly about the character of the entrepreneurs, and I'm trying to see whether they're the kind of people that I want to invest in. And the people I want to invest in are these stars. They're the people that are, they have fire in their eyes. They love what they do. They wake up in the morning and they want to conquer the world. And the speed in which they're moving, and speed is the most important thing for an entrepreneur. The speed in which they're moving is appropriate for the market challenges that are going to tackle. And people think that speed is only for internet companies, for app companies, but it's not true. If you want to start a medical devices company, the speed may be different in terms of you're not going to have an app out in 3 months, but if you're not going to move fast, somebody else is going to eat your lunch. And so, this process is something that tells me about entrepreneurs. And I think that entrepreneurs need to think very carefully about how they present themselves and how ready they come and how fast they can move in the interaction with the investor if they really want to get the money. And on the speed side, my partner James likes giving what I think is the best analogy for speed, which I think entrepreneurs would enjoy, and that is that when you're playing chess against a grandmaster, then you don't stand a chance, right? They're geniuses, but even I that play pretty average chess, if you let me take 2 moves for every move of the master, I'm going to win, because that's just the way it is. And when you're a young company, the only thing you have as your weapons against the large corporates is your speed. They have more people, they have more energy, they have more money, they can market harder, they can do whatever they want. But they're moving slow. And so as a startup, if you do not move at least twice as fast as the large corporates, you're not going to win. And so, that's what entrepreneurs need to be ready in general for. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's what they need to be able to present to investors. Because all the smart investors, more than anything else, they will look at character and speed. These are the two things.